dot-to-dot puzzles when we were children. I know I did. I always loved that sense of excitement that when I looked at a page full of dots with numbers by the sides of them, wondering what it was I was going to create. As I began to join the dots, I used to like to guess what the image would be. Sometimes I got it right, and sometimes I got it completely and utterly wrong. And I guess communication can be like that. My business is built on the wonderful Albert Einstein quote that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing that it is stupid. Because as human beings, we are all unique. However, I don't believe we are just unique, but actually wonderfully unique. And we bring to the table a set of skills and experiences that set us apart from everybody else. And actually, if we can tap into those skills and experiences, whether professionally or personally, we can make wonderful things happen. However, I didn't always have that view, because I'm guessing, like you, my life's been a bit of a journey. I was born to a Greek Cypriot father and a Jewish mother. And actually, some people might say that that's where my problems began. I've always had a Mediterranean temperament, warm, fiery, impulsive. And some people might assume that I got those traits from my father. Actually, I didn't. You couldn't hope to meet a more calm, even-tempered, calm man. He's a professor of computer science and my hero. He was born into a poor farming family in Cyprus and had to leave school when he was 13. He then taught himself everything he needed to learn, including English, becoming a school teacher, and finally saving enough money to come to England to study. And that's where he met my mum. And without even knowing it, my dad has always taught me the importance of communication. So whether he's chatting to his vice-chancellor of his university or the handyman that clears out the gutters, he treats everyone with the same level of respect. I didn't realise what a skill that was, because let's be honest with ourselves, do we really treat everyone the same, with the same level of respect? Or do we make judgment calls based on someone's job role, their tone of voice, or where they work? Hand on heart, I can say my dad has never done that. Unsurprisingly, my Mediterranean temperament stayed with me as I grew up, through those angst teenage years, my early 20s, and into my 30s. My outgoing personality meant that I made lots of friends, but I also began to notice that there were people that just didn't get me. Did it bother me? Not really, because actually I was one of those people that made first impressions. I knew within the first 10 seconds of meeting somebody whether I liked them or not. And unfortunately, if I didn't like them, my impression never changed. I used to make sweeping generalisations and apply labels shamelessly, and that wasn't a great place to be. I then moved into my 30s and my career was on the up, but I still found it difficult to communicate with people that weren't like me, or people that I just didn't get, which was not great for a sales and marketing director. But then one day, everything changed, and the difference that made the difference? NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I now know that NLP can be thought of in the realms of Marmite. Some people love it, some people hate it. I just wanted to know more about it. I'd like to share my NLP journey with you, but if I did, we'd probably be here till Christmas, so I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is that throughout our lives, there are defining moments. It could be the day that we meet our partner, the birth of our child, or something far more random. For me, it was the day I stepped into my NLP practitioner course. The course lasted for 8 days, and it felt as though I walked in through one door and left through a completely different door. At the time, I remember describing it as though an alien had overtaken my body, and that I was living in a parallel universe of calm and tranquility and clarity, and actually gone with the sweeping generalisations and the labels, and actually just an interest in everybody, and especially those people that weren't like me. I also learned how to communicate more effectively and with more people. And what I'd like to do is share one of the tips I learned on my journey. So in a moment, I'm going to invite you to take part in an exercise. Don't worry, you don't have to get up, you can stay seated. All I would ask you to do is to notice what happens when I say a particular word. So if you're sitting comfortably in your chairs with your feet on the floor, I'd like to invite you to relax, maybe take a deep breath in and out. Shrug your shoulders, roll your neck. Do whatever it is you need to do to relax. And then, if you feel comfortable to do so, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes and notice what happens when I say this word. And the word is petrol. 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 So I'm guessing, and you may open your eyes now, I'm guessing that for some of you, you may have seen something when I said the word petrol. Perhaps you saw your car, or your local garage, or yourself filling your car up with petrol or diesel. If you did, then it is most likely that your preferred learning style is visual. Pictures help you learn. You need to see things before making a decision. You will have seen what I'm saying. You will see what I mean. About 40% of us have a visual preference. For others, they may have felt the vibration of the petrol nozzle as they're filling up their car. Or perhaps you might have smelled petrol or diesel. If you did, then it is most likely that your preferred learning style is kinesthetic. You need to connect with your feelings in order to learn. You need to listen to your gut in order to make decisions. You will understand what I'm saying because you feel the same way. About 40% of us are kinesthetic. Finally, there might have been people that would have heard something when I said the word petrol. Perhaps you heard the sound of the petrol pump, or you heard yourself talking about falling petrol prices, or the friendly voice of the cashier who greeted you last time you were in the petrol station. If you did, then it is most likely that your preferred learning style is auditory. You listen in order to make decisions. You like to hear discussion. You love the radio and audio books. You will hear what I've been saying, and you will have heard the conviction in my voice. So just to be clear, the petrol test helps you identify people's preferred learning styles, but that does not mean that they won't respond to other learning styles. For me, I'm highly visual. I like pictures, but closely followed by kinesthetic, so I do listen to my gut. Unfortunately, my auditory preference is practically non-existent, so you will often find me asking people to repeat what they have said. And if I ever listen to a speaker with a monotone voice, I'm going to fall asleep, no doubt about it. So how does this help me? Well, when I'm preparing for presentations, obviously my preference is to use visuals, but I will also build in material that will connect with those with a kinesthetic or an auditory preference. I will also consider the language that I use so that people can hear, see and feel what it is that I'm saying. It enables me to ensure that people will connect the dots, create the right image and take away the same message. But please, don't take my word for it. Try it on for size the next time you have to do a presentation. And remember, if there's somebody you just don't get, ask them what they notice when you say the word petrol.